Everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be working on that sketch that I talked to you about in my previous video. If you haven't watched that video yet, I encourage you to watch that one first because it's going to make a lot more sense on how I came up with this idea for this layout. All right, so now that I've already kind of looked at that sketch and came up with my idea, I am going to take this What a Wonderful Life or What a Wonderful Day. It's by Fancy Pants. It's from 2013. I definitely want to start using this up. And I want to have a footer at the top. And I thought those hot air balloons were super cute. So I wanted to use that. And then I noticed that there was a scallop one, which was perfect, makes my day easier. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut that part out where I cut the border. That's one thing about my videos that you will see is that I definitely try to not have a lot of that stuff in there. I want to have the meat of the layout because I know that you guys already know how to use your scissors and glue stuff down. So anyways, once I get my border, I realize that the paper does not go all the way across. So I can't have that much of an angle. So it's just going to be a slight angle. Now I'm going to take those heart stickers and that was actually originally a border sticker. Again, watch that previous video. But basically it was a border sticker that had hearts in the center. I cut out each of those hearts and I am going to draw strings behind the photo because while that sketch shows those banners, I definitely wanted to have something behind that photo, and that's when I had like a little aha moment with that border sticker. Now I'm going to use my real expensive handy tool of how I can get a visual of what paper I want to use, my arm. And I do this all the time. I like cover it up. I'm like, which paper do I want to use? I decided to go with the print. Is basically a whole bunch of like encouraging phrases versus the yellow paper with a heart. And the reason why I decided to go with this one is it kind of reads more of a neutral. It isn't too demanding as far as attention like the yellow one was. And that's something I don't want to do. I really want to focus on the two photos that I'm going to have for my layout and with the idea that I came up with, which is using that border sticker with those hearts on it. I really wanted to have those as my two main focus pieces on this layout. Now once I go ahead and do that, I'm then going to decide on what paper I want to use behind and map my photos. I thought it was going to be the yellow, but I just didn't feel like it gave enough contrast. So I go back, I flip it over and use the dark navy blue. It's almost black. I really like that against that white. It definitely pops. Now, once I put everything down and I have the pattern paper and the border, the angled border, scallop border, I realize that I don't have a whole lot of room for my hearts. So I have to scratch that idea of using the border strip of the hot air balloons. So here I'm going to I took a pencil, I drew some lines with my ruler. It is not even. I didn't want it to be even. And I didn't want the length of the string or, what's supposed to be string either as the same length. And the reason why is I really wanted it to be kind of like a macrame. My daughter has one in her room where it's just, they're all different lengths. It also reminds me of a dream catcher where it's just, you know, they're all random as far as the lengths of the string. And I did not want my hearts to go across as if it was like an exact line. I really kind of wanted to keep that along with the string, which is kind of a zigzag jagged effect, and that is how I'm going to place the hearts. So once I get them all down to where I want them positioned, I'm going to save you from having you watch me peel every single one of them because they weren't always easy. But I'm going to show you a couple of how I just place them down, and then I'm going to continue to move on. I have to say, once I do finish up the hearts, I absolutely love the way they turned out. Next, I'm going to go back to that border sticker, and there was a pink one, and I felt that was perfect even though it was not the same pattern. That does not bother me whatsoever. I did have to cut it in half because it was a little too wide for the top, but one thing that did frustrate me was that it did not fit across the 12 by 12 paper. I tried to center it as best as I could. It's not perfect, and I'm okay with that. Now I do kind of go into what is also with this collection. and that is their sticker sheet and their die cuts. And I know that in the sketch it did use a tab off to the right, and I thought about using one, but I really didn't like how I matted the photo. Well, not that I didn't like. The photo is matted with that dark blue, and this tab that I liked that I thought was perfect that says dreams was also dark blue. So I thought, well, let me see what else I could use. I really like that sticker that says you are loved. And then I thought I was going to use an arrow. You'll see me attempt it a couple times here. But once I did that, I felt like the arrow just gave it all of a sudden like a whole different look compared to what I had already started. And I didn't like that. So I go to the alphabet sticker sheet. And that's one thing that I loved about Fancy Pants. I don't know if they still do this with their collections where they had all the paper, all the stickers. They would have this great alphabet sticker sheet, all the die cuts, all in one kit. Like you could just buy it in one lump sum. Um, but once I go back, I found a yellow tab that I did like. And then I'm going to go bring out that sticker that I had out originally. Now I had some leftover hearts, and one thing about me is that I'm really trying to do is put less back in my stash. So I really did not want to hold on to these hearts for whatever reason. I was like, you know what, you already are going with hearts. You've already started something, with them hanging on strings. Why don't we continue to use them? So I'm going to kind of mess with them a little bit, and I thought I would have them kind of clustered around where my title was going to go. But off camera, you are going to see that my title is placed differently. It's actually going along that diagonal line, or more of that angled scallop border. So I end up scratching that and decide to add just a few more strings off to the right, and then I'm going to place the story of my daughter in between that, in that empty space. All right, everybody, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel, I'd love to have you here. Hit that subscribe button, and I will see you soon. Bye.